Imagine you're standing on a gold mine, but the map just changed while you were sleeping. Most people think fertilizers are just boring bags of dirt. Wrong! In 2026, they are the new liquid gold. But here's the kicker. We found a hole in the industry's pocket the size of a crater. And if you're looking at the wrong companies, you're basically burning your cash to keep warm. Welcome to the Great Decoupling. We're about to show you who's actually winning and who's just pretending. Let's talk about the moat. In the US and Canada, these companies have a massive unfair advantage. It's like playing a game of poker where your chips cost 10 cents and everyone else's cost $1. Why? Because of natural gas. While Europe is sweating over energy bills, our boys in North America are getting their raw materials for the price of a cup of coffee. That's not just a business advantage, that's a structural I win button. But wait, there's a catch. Europe just built a giant invisible wall called CBAM. Think of it as a carbon customs. If your fertilizer is dirty, meaning you emitted too much CO2 making it, you're going to get taxed into oblivion. 2026 is the year this wall hits full height. If you can't prove your product is green, you're essentially banned from the world's most expensive dinner party. So here's the billion-dollar question. Can these old-school dirt companies turn into high-tech energy giants by 2030? Or are they just dinosaurs wearing a green coat of paint? We're looking at a total identity crisis. It's like watching a coal miner try to become Elon Musk overnight. Let's see who's actually making the jump. We're seeing two totally different survival strategies. Nutrien is trying to own the farmer. They don't just sell you the bag, they want to be your banker and your consultant. Meanwhile, CF Industries is doing something insane. They're betting $3.7 billion that their fertilizer can actually power giant cargo ships. It's a split in the road, and both paths are paved with billions. If this were a video game leaderboard, CF Industries would be the one with the highest defense and gold stats. Look at that 32.5% operating margin. That's not a business, that's an ATM. Nutrien has the massive revenue, sure enough to buy every person in New York a Tesla, but their margins are thinner because they have to maintain 1,800 stores. It's scale versus efficiency. Pick your fighter. Nutrien's strategy is basically the Apple ecosystem for farmers. Once you start using their financing and their crop advisors, you're locked in. They've got 600,000 farmers in their pocket. They're even automating their mines with robots. Why? Because robots don't ask for raises or take lunch breaks. They're building a fortress that's very hard to disrupt. Check out this chart. CF Industries is essentially playing in a different league. Their EBITDA margin is nearly 50%. In any other industry, that would be a monopoly. Here, it's just pure cold-blooded cost leadership. They are the floor of the global market. If CF isn't making money, nobody is. Mosaic is the king of the deep earth. They control 72% of the North American phosphate capacity. But here's the wow factor. They basically own the market in Brazil. If you've eaten a steak recently, chances are the corn that fed that cow was grown using Mosaic's rocks. But be careful, their equipment is getting old, and they're spending $1.3 billion just to keep the lights on. That's a lot of maintenance cash. Then we have the special forces players like LSB and CVR. They don't try to be everything to everyone. LSB is moving into chemicals for semiconductors, yes, fertilizer to microchips. And CVR? They use pet coke, which is basically the leftovers of a refinery, to make their product. It's the ultimate one man's trash is another man's treasure business model. This is the wow moment. Ammonia isn't just for corn anymore. It's becoming the fuel of the future for giant ships. CF is spending almost $4 billion on blue ammonia. If this works, they stop being a fertilizer company and start being a clean energy company. Imagine a gas station, but for ships, and you own all the fuel. That's the dream. Why do we need all this? Because the world is getting hungrier and the middle class is growing. When people get richer, they eat more meat. To grow that meat, you need a mountain of grain. And to grow that grain, you guessed it. Plus, we're now turning 36% of our corn into fuel for cars. We're literally burning food to drive to work. Demand isn't going anywhere. Don't forget the giant in the room, China. They are the world's gatekeepers for fertilizer. When China says no exports, global prices skyrocket. We track everything here, including their operations in Taiwan, to give you the full picture. Their focus on food security at home means they are keeping their goods for themselves, which actually helps the profit margins of our North American companies. Now, let's get real. We found some red flags. Some of these companies are assuming their mines will last for 500 years. 500 years. That's like assuming your iPhone battery will last until the year 2500. If that math is wrong even by a little bit, their balance sheets are going to look very different. Always look at the hidden rice in the pantry before you buy the house. The future is smart. We're talking about drones, robots, and carbon capture. These companies are spending hundreds of millions to make sure they can track every single drop of fertilizer. It's not about how much you sell anymore. It's about how smart it is. The company with the best data is the one that will own the next decade. Here is your treasure map. 2026 is the compliance year. By 2028, it's all about robots. And by 2030, if you aren't net zero, you're out of the game. The winners of 2030 are being decided right now by these multi-billion-dollar investments. So here's the bottom line. The era of dumb dirt is over. We are entering the green premium era. Energy, logistics, and carbon are the new rulers of this kingdom. If you're investing based on 2020 logic, you're already behind. This was just a glimpse. At HDIN Research, we have the full data, the asset-level models, and the real numbers that companies don't always put in their glossy brochures. If you want the deep dive reports, email our team or visit our site. Don't play the market blind. Get the research.